I have Abby here with me.
Hello.
And we want to share something interesting with you about squares. Squares are so much fun to work with. Here we have the 10 square, and I know this is the 10 square because it's gold, but also because there's 10 beads on this side and 10 beads on this side. And so 10 beads by 10 beads, 10 square. So we're going to do something really cool with the 10 square today. Are you ready? Okay, let me switch the view so you can see my hands as well. And here I have the 10 square. Now I have some rubber bands here, or hair bands here, and I'm going to stretch this around and I'm going to count. I'm going to count 4 beads down like that. And I'm going to count 4 beads this direction too. And we're going to look at the shapes that I've made here. So, oh, it's kind of hard to see because these bands are so big. Let's see if I have a smaller one. Okay, so when we look at this, we can see that up here I have a shape. I have a 4 square. See, it's 4 by 4. And down here on this side, I also have a square. This square I see down here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 square. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 2 squares. I have this square up here, the 4 square, and I have this square down here, the 6 square. And in the other 2 shapes I see a rectangle and another rectangle. So when we transformed this 1 square, we transformed it by creating 2 smaller squares and 2 rectangles. Shall we do another one? Okay. Can you transform this square into, with a 3 square up in this corner? Yeah, there. It should be okay. Okay, can you finish making your 3 square? For this work, it helps if you have like medium-sized rubber bands. We have small and we have large, so it makes this work a little more challenging. Okay, so here you can see there's a 3 square up there. And what square did we make down here, Abby?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
The 7 square. So when you transformed this square, you ended up with a 3 square and a 7 square and 2 rectangles. Shall we label these parts? Okay, let's get out some tickets. And we're going to label the parts that we see here. Okay, let's start with this one that we just did just now. So what do we have up here in this corner? What was this? What did we call that?
3 squares.
The 3 square. And we know how to write that now. 3 with a little exponent of 2 means 3 square. And this down here was what?
7.
The 7 square, which we write just like that. I'm going to put that on top. It won't sit on top up there. Okay, now let's look at this rectangle right here. We know that this rectangle is up here, and let's count how many beads across it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is 7 beads across. And how many beads down?
1, 2, 3.
3. So that rectangle is 7 times 3. Let's count this rectangle over here. How many beads across? 1, 2, 3. And how many beads down? 7. Oh, look at that. We've labeled all of our parts of our square, or squares. Now we have many squares. Okay, so I want to show you how we can find the value of the square that we just found. We have to add all of these up. We have to add 3 squared plus 7 squared plus 7 times 3 plus 3 times 7. And we have to find out what all of that all together equals. And that'll tell us the value of all of the parts or the whole. Okay, normally when I write in pencil, I can flip them over. Yep, I can do it. Normally when I write in pencil, I just flip them over and write the answer. What is the value of 3 squared? 3 times 3?
9.
9. So 3 squared equals 9 plus the value of our 7 squared? 7 times 7, 49, plus 7 times 3. What's 7 times 3?
21.
21. Abby knows these facts, so she doesn't have to use a resource. You could count the beads, or you could use your finger chart if you wanted to. What's 3 times 7?
21.
21. Okay, now we're going to add all these up and record our answer. I'm going to record it on this piece right here. Okay, let's look at our units. I have 9, 9, 1, and 1 units. And I know that 9 plus 1 is 10, and 9 plus 1 more is another 10. So there's 20 units. So I'm putting the 2 in my mind. So a 2 in my tens place. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 2 is 6, plus 4. 10. And we have no hundreds out there, so I just write 10. Did that work out right? Yeah. We took 100 square, broke it up into pieces, found the value of each of the pieces and added them back together, and it's still the 100 square. Was that kind of fun? It's kind of like breaking it up like a puzzle and then doing the puzzle. Okay, I'm going to set this one aside. I'm going to keep all of its pieces, but we're going to set it aside. And we're going to do the one we made first. The first one we made was a 4 square and a 6 square and 2 rectangles. So Abby, I want you to tell me the pieces and I'll create labels as you tell me what we have. So what do we have there?
4 square.
You need a 4 square. Okay, can you label that? Okay, now what piece do we have?
6 square.
A 6 square. Okay, go ahead and label that. Okay, and what do you have next?
4 times 6.
4 times 6.
And then 4 times 6. No. 6 times 4.
Okay. 4 times 6 and 6 times 4 have the same value because in multiplication, it doesn't matter what order you go first. The answer is always the same. 6 times 4 is equal to 4 times 6. And so that's an interesting connection to make because these are the same. You have to add them both because there's 2 of them, but the values will be the same. Those rectangles will always be the same. Okay, let's add up our pieces. We have 4 squared plus
6 squared.
plus. I'm actually going to pull the square out and have us do our rectangles first and do it this way. The 4 square plus 6 times 4 plus 4 times 6 plus 6 squared, just so that we're reading it across the equation. Okay, what's 4 squared?
Is
4 times 4.
16.
4 times 4 is 16. And what is 6 times 4?
24.
6 times 4 is 24. What's 4 times 6?
24.
24. And what is 6 times 6? 6 squared.
It is 36.
36. Okay, now we're going to add all of these up to see what the value is. And we're going to start with our units. I have a 6 and a 4 and a 4 and a 6. Well, I know that 6 plus 4 is 10. And 6 plus 4 is 10. So I have a 0 in my units place. And I'm going to carry that 2. So I have a 2 plus 3. 5 plus 2.
7.
Plus 2.
9.
Plus 1.
10.
100. Is it right? Do we have 100 square? That's right. We have 100 square. We took the 100 square, we broke it up into pieces, added it all back together, and it's still the 100 square. If it came out to something other than 100, we would know we did it wrong. Like if this didn't come out to be 100, we would know we did some math wrong. Okay, for your follow-up, you're going to do this work in your journal, but it's going to have to look a little different because you don't have the bead squares to work with. So let me show you what it'll look like in your journal. Okay, in your journal, you should be creating a page that says transforming a square into a binomial. And then I wrote the definition. Bi means two and nomen means names. So this is a square with two names. Just like you saw this with our 3 square and our 7 square and our 4 square and our 6 square. It's two names. It's a square with two names. So what you're going to do, let me find myself a pencil. What you're going to do is you're going to draw a 10 by 10 square in your journal. Now, I'm going to just leave that one there so that we can see that's what we're starting with. And I'm going to draw another 10 by 10 square right down here. So I just have my ruler to count my straight edge so that I don't make a crooked line. So I'm going to start right here and I'm going to count over 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I need a straight line from those points. And then I need to count 10 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then when I connect it across to there, okay, I just need to draw those lines in. Now, here we're creating a 10 square using our graph paper from our journal. This is just like what we would do in class. We would eventually do it on graph paper. We would start with just the bead bars, and then we would start with bead paper. So they have circles instead of squares. But this works just fine. So I am going to do one of the examples we just did together. I'm going to do the 3. Oh no, I'm going to do the 4. I always do examples with 3 because I really like the pink chain. I like to use the pink color. 2, 3, 4. And we know that yellow is not my favorite color and the 4 is yellow. So I think that's why I don't use it very much. Okay, so there's where I have drawn my square. It's been transformed. Now, if I were coloring these to match the bead bars, then my 4 square would be yellow. And so I'm going to color that one in. You do not have to color your transformation of a square to match the bead bars. I'm doing that with this one example. The other ones I'm going to color just to be pretty. So here's my 4 square. And then this is my 6 square, which is light purple. So I'm going to color it in. You can be as creative as you want with your coloring. You guys know I feel like I'm a rule follower. I feel like when something's a number like that I can use just the color that it's supposed to be. But there is no really supposed to be. This one should be fun and creative. And you should be able to feel comfortable making it beautiful how you want it to be beautiful. Okay. So now I've colored my 2 squares and then my rectangles. Of course, my rectangles can't be, they can't be the colors of the bead bars because they're not squares. So I'm going to color them orange. Now, I chose orange to represent this because these rectangles are the same. We talked about that. They're both 6 times 4. I'm going to color them both orange because we had 2 different squares and 2 of the rectangles that were the same. Now we're going to label these in our journal what they were. This is 4 square. This is 6 square. Sorry, it's hard to see it, but when I take the picture, I'll make sure you can see it. This was 6 times 4, and this is 4 times 6. Okay, for your follow-up, you're going to label your square, and then you're going to do the math. So you're going to have 4 squared plus 6 times 4. I'm going to put parentheses around them because that all belongs together. And then this one all belongs together. So parenthesis 4 times 6 plus 6 squared, just like that. And then because we have to solve it, I'm just going to write what the answer is below it. 4 squared equals 16 plus 6 times 4 was 6 times 4 is 24 plus 4 times 6. 24 plus 6 squared. 36. And when we added all those up, what did they add up to be? They added up to be 100. So that is one example. I'll do one more example. I'll speed it up so you don't have to watch all of the drawing and the measuring, but I'll see you on the other side. Okay. All right, we have our square drawn there. I asked Abby what she wants to do, and she wants to do the 2 square. The 2 square. I actually Can we draw the 2 square but have it be the lower square? Okay. It doesn't have to be the smaller square on the top. It could be the bigger square could go on top. It could be a 9 and a 1. It could be, in this case, an 8 and a 2. And I'm not going to do it brown. What color do you want me to draw it? She's choosing Red Hot Inferno and Wheel Me 3. And she chose Wild Lilac and Cappuccino. Okay, well, she ended up choosing brown anyway.
It was purple.
Here, I'll let you trade that out. This one's super, that one will work. There's one that's like super pastel. Okay, so the big square, I'm gonna write it really big. This is 8 squared. This is the 8 square. Okay, the 8 square. And then this one here will be 2 times 8. Wild lilac. Well, you chose purple and lilac. So this is 2 times 8. This one's 8 times 2. Green would have been pretty. Okay, and what is this bottom corner?
It's 2 squared.
2 squared. Red Hot Inferno. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and label our parts, or we've labeled our parts. Now we're going to write our list of what the equation is going to be. So we're going to start with our first square.
64.
No, we're just going to read them just like this.
Oh yeah. 8 squared.
8 squared plus,
2 times 8.
and I'm putting it in parentheses because the 2 times 8 stays together. It's all together.
2 times 8.
Plus
2 times 8. Wait, 8 times 2.
plus
2 squared.
2 squared. Okay, 8 squared. You already told me that one. 8 times 8. 64. If you don't know your squares, that's okay. You don't have to have them memorized. Sorry, I didn't realize I was off the screen so far. You don't have to have them memorized. Look, my 8 squares right here, 64. That's why we do this. That's why we take notes, so that we have our reference for us. Okay, 2 times 8.
16.
16 plus 8 times 2.
16.
Plus 2 squared. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, now we're going to add it all together. We look at our, we already did this one. Oh, no, we didn't. We did 4 and 6 and 3 and 7. Okay, we haven't done this one. Okay, we're going to look at our 4. This is why I thought it. 4 plus 6 is 10. Plus 6 plus 4. So that's 20. And we put our 2 in our head, plus 1.
3.
Plus 1.
4.
Plus 6. And our answer is 100, which makes sense because we transformed the 100 square. Okay, for your follow-up, I want you to transform a few squares. I want you to transform 3. 3 will fit on your page. If I hadn't done this example up here to show you what a square was, I would have had room to do 3 on this page. So you're going to transform 3 10 squares into a binomial. A binomial means 2 names. So these are all squares that now have 2 names. All right, I hope you enjoyed this lesson and we'll see you next time.